Hi everyone, and welcome to the first webinar in our auto scan series. Today's webinar is on how to achieve the best color bar. Presenting today is Keel Harder, the product manager for the exact portfolio at X-Ray PANTONE. I'm Robert Grotans, the global technical marketing manager, and I'll be moderating today's webinar. Just a few quick things to go over before we get started. Due to the number of people that are attending today's webinar, we will keep everyone muted. If you have any questions at any time, please use the questions function on the GoToWebinar panel. We will have some time at the end of this webinar to answer a few of your questions. Finally, this webinar will be recorded and you'll receive a link so that you can review the webinar at your convenience. So with that, I'll turn it over to Keel to get things started.
Thanks a lot, Robert. Really appreciate you all spending the time today. So good morning and good afternoon. I'm here to talk about creating the best color bar and how printers can make ready with X-Rite scanning solutions. So we'll dive deeper, but this is a one-part of a three-part series. And next week, we're going to be talking about closed-loop solutions, and I will briefly provide, what that value can provide to the customer. So let's dive into it. So creating the perfect color bar. So we understand at X-Rite that there are each printing environment is different. There's different presses, different processes. Customers are following G7, PSO. They're using different substrates. But fundamentally, what is a color bar? So a color bar is a pattern of measurable and visually inspected targets to assist in the quality control of a printed item. And we get many customers having different color bars, and really there's no perfect color bar. We do have a document online at our website at xrite.com that you're actually able to download that provides, what we recommend getting with prepress and really defining what a good color bar looks like. But we understand that there are slur targets, registration patches, half patches, and quarter patches. And ultimately, I think we understand that the smaller the color bar, the better, because ultimately it saves a lot of that substrate waste, which saves you time and money. And what we've tried to do is actually accommodate that by having our leading scanning solutions support all color bars, and we're really the only scanner, one of the only scanners to read down to a 2mm color bar. So again, there's different color bars that have slur patches, half patches, quarter patches, 2mm all the way up to 5mm, and we really try to develop solutions that can scan all of those kinds of color bars. And so again, the color bar scanning solutions are developed with printers' frustrations in mind. One of the common pieces of feedback is, we waste over 600 to 800 sheets of paper per job. This is our highest cost. If we were only able to get color faster or production quality product out the door, we could get in another job or just meet the customer's key performance metrics. Again, we get a lot of feedback that quality is paramount to the customer. So making sure that the customer is extremely happy with the production run and the final product that's leaving your door. We've heard feedback of, we don't want to be in a scenario where we're getting no charge returns. And also we've heard feedback, it's extremely competitive, so we must differentiate on quality. And so we've really tried to take all of that input in mind when developing our scanning solutions. And we do see a lot of benefits to those scanning solutions. And so we do have a bunch of different case studies on our website, but our scanning solutions really reduce waste and the global cost, either paper and time. And you're able to see a 30 to 60% improvement during make, ready, and run. And as I mentioned, we'll have a presentation next week on closed loop, where you can really then get extremely tangible ROI within several months. But with that said, not only are you able to reduce waste, you're able to stabilize and standardize your production processes, whatever model of the press or the experience of the team. The IntelliTrax is one of our scanning solutions, and you literally just push a button. It scans the entire color bar in less than 15 seconds, and you're able to get that color data to be able to stabilize and standardize your production processes from the first shift to the second shift to the third shift. It's very consistent, and it does provide higher efficiency, and reduces the prospect for returning as a result of lower quality. And so we do see a lot of scanning solution benefits for printers to include user friendliness, more color information without having to make multiple patch measurements. Customers who use a handheld, if they have a color bar, they're able to use one of these scanning solutions and really get that full color bar information in less than 15 seconds. Additionally, you're able to, have the sort of client's needs made on every press and every plant. So it goes back to that standardization and consistency that I just talked about, to include, adherence to the standards of G7, PSO, and having that sort of commonality between sites or between presses all throughout your color workflow. And as I mentioned, I think sustainability is becoming ever more important. As I mentioned, less paper, less energy, especially if you go with a 2mm color bar, you can really reduce the amount of substrates and the make-ready waste. And so this enables you the flexibility to save a lot of money and become more sustainable. So there's benefits for old presses and even new presses. And so for an old press, you are able to teach an old dog new tricks, and you're able to really increase the profitability of your older press. As I mentioned, you have the ability to stabilize for better quality and consistency, and again, improve the color workflow just again to reduce any sort of chargebacks or discounts. And as I mentioned, the inline color solutions can be very expensive to repair. This is some of the feedback that we always get of some of the in-press measurement, it takes to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars to potentially fix. And this offering and scanning a solution, you're able to get back to controlling color at a fraction of the cost. But as I mentioned, again, standalone scanning systems reduces cost, faster ROI with the closed loop solutions. And we do connect to PrintFlow, Digital Information, and Rutherford, which will be talked about next week. But I do have an example of what that looks like in a following slide. Now, we do get some feedback of, hey, why would we want to use this for new presses? I think one of the exciting things about one of our scanning solutions is that from the very beginning, you can keep that color consistency to ensure a faster ROI. It also acts as a backup system, but then also you're able to get G7 under control right from the very start, but then you're also able to support some additional spot colors by having the sort of connectivity to PANTONE standards. So each one of our scanning solutions does have the connectivity to PANTONE and is able to pull in those standards during every job. And again, as I kind of mentioned, the stabilization and standardization across jobs, across sites, across shifts, it's all very common, and you can have the commonality of color control systems right next to the press console. And as I briefly mentioned, it's a backup for inline color control as to ensure business continuity, to making sure that your color workflow is secure and making sure that you're producing quality and there's little risk of having downtime that could be so costly. So this is what manual ink key adjustment looks like. And so if you have a scanning solution, you're able to scan, and the operator will then be able to manually adjust the ink keys. And so this will be able to get the press dialed in and get that color standardization. I think one of the powerful things about a closed loop solution is you saw the manual ink key adjustment, but actually moving to a closed loop solution, you can actually get the scan and have that done in one. So just think of the time savings. It's kind of like playing the piano where, again, you can have everything automatically adjusted and you can have that time savings cut down and have a tangible ROI within months of having a scanning solution. We really think this is our scanning solutions, as well as, again, applying a scanning solution to a color bar workflow. It really makes life easier for everyone. And that's from the press operators, the sort of consistency from shift to shift, but then the ease of just being able to push a button to scan the color bar, to the production manager, again, having the automation, delivering quality jobs faster. Again, you can have the better ROI as far as the print quality managers, and for, the departmental finance, the increased ROI by reducing that material waste and increased productivity. So diving into the scanning solutions that X-Rite provides, we do have the exact hand scan that's really meant for commercial, flexo, river, digital, pre-press printing and packaging. And that's really for customers that don't necessarily need the automation. However, you can step up into our solutions to include the exact auto scan, which accommodates presses below 40 inches. And this is really meant for the entry point into our scanning solution offering. For the customers looking for automation with affordability. And then we have the Premier IntelliTrax 2. This is really meant for larger presses, customers looking for that fully automated hands-free operation and the highest level of process control. And I'll really start going into some of these more specific solutions in the next slide. So why the IntelliTrax 2? As I mentioned, the IntelliTrax 2 is our premier scanning solution, and one of the exciting things about the IntelliTrax 2 is the ease of use and convenience. So one of the things that's exciting about IntelliTrax 2 is that it has the auto color bar detection or the look ahead sensor for faster sheet positioning. So you really don't have to mess with aligning the sheet to the actual scanning solution. The IntelliTrax does the work for you. So what that means in speed and time savings, it really does make a huge difference in the workflow as far as automation. Additionally, it is non-contact. So again, the instrument does not come in contact with the color bar. So again, you can kind of preserve the integrity of the sheet. And with that, the vacuum pump is included. So for customers using lighter substrates, that when you put ink on the substrate could curl, where the vacuum pump is very exciting because what it does is it fixes the sheet to the scanner so that you don't have any issues or errors in color as a result of sheet curl, which is something that's very exciting. And as I mentioned, earlier in the broadcast, is that the smaller color bars really allows you to save on substrate costs. So again, 2 millimeters instead of 3 millimeters, like some of our other solutions, to really save space on the sheet. And as I mentioned, this is really for larger presses, but that you can also get one as small as 29 inch. Exact Auto Scan is our newest scanning solution, really meant to get automation at an affordable price. It's a 3-in-1 automated solution for spot, manual, and automated scan, and allows for customers who have an Exact to really move up to a scanning solution, or you get the power of the handheld with the scanner. So you can be able to conduct a scan, and then you can actually pull off the Exact and take a spot measurement to either measure the color bar or then measure the spot color within the actual printed substrate itself. It does have the protected calibration plaque and is easy to integrate with X-Rite and third-party solutions, whether that be software or even a closed-loop solution. And then just like any X-Rite product, we do have the best match function that provides ink thickness adjustments. So you're able to scan the color bar, and then it provides automated recommendations of where to make adjustments and how. We also have the sort of G7 PSO ISO support using the scanning software. And similar to all of our other solutions, it comes embedded with the PANTONE libraries with access to PANTONE Live to, again, get the latest standards right into your workflow to support the latest spot colors. And so as I mentioned, this kind of concludes the presentation, but is the first in a series. The next one is on closed loop solutions. We do have additional videos on xrite.com to learn more about our scanning solutions, and we have the documentation of how to actually create a perfect color bar. But as I mentioned, there's really no perfect color bar because, again, it depends on the process, the substrate, and the press itself. And so we really wanted to create solutions that accommodate all of those needs. And so don't hesitate to reach out if you're either considering a X-Rite scanning solution or you're looking for more insights on building the best color bar. And so that really concludes the presentation. Really thank you for taking the time. We just wanted to have a brief presentation with you all. And please feel free to ask any questions.
Great. Thank you, Keel. If you do have any questions, please feel free to submit them now. I'll give everyone a moment just in case we receive some. While we wait for those to come in, I am going to launch another polling question. If you are interested in speaking to a sales representative or someone else, please feel free to answer that polling question, and we'll see if any questions come in. I am not seeing any questions, so we'll go ahead and wrap up here for today. If you do have any questions that come to your mind afterwards, again, we will be sending out the recording tomorrow, so you can respond to that email and we'll direct your questions over to the correct person. So I'd like to thank everyone for attending and have a great rest of your day.